think Siskel Ebert would think about like modern day movies? You know, especially like the superhero movies, or in particular, since they didn't, you know, particularly love all horror films. How do you think they'd feel about Terrifier?
Oh wow,
not the first two.
That's a hard one. It could go either way for either of them.
Ebert might think it's just like, you know, a gore opera over it. I don't know. Ebert might be like, you know, there is some remnants of character in there. I like the development. Although I wish we'd have seen how Art the Clown builds his house. I'd like to see a movie where Art the Clown opens up a lemonade stand, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And then here comes Siskel. I puked in my shoe. I'm sorry, Gene. I'm sorry, Roger. I got to mix that.
Wow.
Boom! Here we go. It's time for another episode of What Matches?
It's time for another episode of NOMS Podcast.
Woohoo! That's right.
And NOMS Podcast stands for Nerdin' Out with Matches and Shannon. And here you are.
That's right. That's right. We are the only podcast that goes, whoa, whoa! We go, whoa, whoa! Do we?
No.
No.
Apparently
that's a nuisance. Okay, fine. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's fine. How you doing, Matches?
I'm doing good. How are you, Shannon?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. I'm all excited and ready for Halloween.
Me too. It's Halloween
season.
time. Halloween town.
Little
Halloween
kids
house.
come to your door. You give them food that you found in your cupboard because you weren't prepared. Do you
we
know
don't get trick-or-treaters out here.
Oh, you don't? Well, we have just moved to an undisclosed location in an underground bunker. We're going to see if this is the year we finally get trick-or-treaters. But our kids, cross fingers, Rocket and Groot, still love to go out trick-or-treating. They still love to do it.
Okay.
So I'm so excited. Yeah. I'm really excited that they still want to do that. My dream is one day when they stop doing that to make a haunted garage. You know, for the neighborhood kids to come in and get scared and then get some candy as a reward for peeing their pants. So that's
I dress up like a bully every year, and I go door to door. When they tell me I'm too old, I bully them into giving me candy.
You're not Nick Stahl from that Bully movie, are you? Because he was. Oh, dude. That's scary. Are you Scott Farkas from A Christmas Story? Gary,
I'm Little Orphan Annie.
No. It's a hard
Leaping lizards.
4 matches. It's a hard night. 4 matches. I love it. Oh, but Halloween's my favorite holiday. And what better way to celebrate towards the end of Halloween than a couple of scurry movies?
Ooh, I love scurry movies.
Yeah, and not just any. We've got 2 from the master. Okay? He built these with his own 2 hands because his last name is...
Carpenter. But first, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow if you want to. No pressure.
Yeah, exactly. We'll give you information. If you're Gene Triplehorn trying to find us, we're gonna let you know how you can find us for sure.
And you can find us also at nomspodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. They can also find us in the club.
NOMS Podcast is brought to you by The Thing. What is The Thing? Is The Thing your dog? Is it your little sister? Will you become The Thing? I use my Thing every weekend, and I still feel the same. Maybe even better. Don't take it from me. Ask Jackie Jorbjot from Madison, Wisconsin, or Skip Magoo from Atlanta, if you can find them. Right now, go to www.thethingfromouterspace.com and enter code NOMNOMS. That's NOMS for 25% off. That's a deal for a miracle product that will make you feel like a whole new person. Remember, that's www.thethingfromouterspace.com and enter code DOMNOMS for 25% off.
Medic!
How was that?
Jeez, hang on, seriously. Wow, you
was
nearly
that bad?
I swear I'm not the thing. I'm only coughing because I'm a little choked up. That was a wonderful ad and a wonderful product. Yes.
It was, yeah.
People do need to be careful, though, because much like the wrong rental, if you go to the wrong space in the video rental store, you might end up renting The Thong by accident, which is a totally different film.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Who has
different kind of gross.
Who is the thong? Are you wearing the thong? All right, that was a great advertisement. So, speaking of The Thing, that is one of 2 two awesome John Carpenter. We're having a John Carpenter 2-for, a John Carpenter buy one get one free sale, aren't we? Matches.
That's right. Yeah, it's a John Carpenter off. I mean, sorry, what do you call this?
I told you the thong wasn't real. Yes.
Sorry, I was thinking about the thong again.
Were you thinking about? Okay, so were you thinking about Jenny's parties matches?
Oh my God. Oh, the baby oil.
Tonight we're talking about the thingy and the Halloweeny. That's right, which is two of the best John Carpenter films. What is your favorite John Carpenter film out of all his films?
Ghost of Mars.
We are no longer friends. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. NOMS podcast has been canceled, and
it's vampires.
You know what? You're getting me. You're getting me. You know what? We might cover vampires one day. I know what you're getting at. Okay, we're going to.
We're gonna have to. You made us go see that movie.
I didn't make you. I said, and I still feel bad. I apologize to this day. See, people, what had happened was we wanted to go see The Waterboy, the cinematic experience that is The Waterboy. Well, we got to the movie theater and it was sold out, but we had 2.5 hours to kill. So we're like, let's do a double feature. Let's see another movie. And I said, hey, that vampires movie with James Wood, directed by John Carpenter, who can do no wrong, is out. Would you guys like to see it? It might be good. And Matches and two other friends said, sure, Shannon. And we saw it. And it's not the worst movie. You know, I've watched it a lot since then. There's some good in it. There's some good.
I didn't know James Woods was in it, but I've hated him for a long time, and I don't know why. Well, now I know why.
Because of this movie.
He's a real creep.
Because of this movie. But in the movie, he's so aggressive, and we could do vampires sometime. That would be fun. But so I've never really lived it down because one of our friends constantly for a year reminded me, hey, Shannon, thanks for making me see vampires. I really enjoyed Vampire, Shannon.
Vampires.
Yeah. I thought it was John Carpenter's Umpires.
That's hilarious.
But what is your favorite Carpenter film for real after you brought up those painful memories?
Oh, for real, it's The Thing.
Okay. Well, my favorite is Halloween.
For real.
Okay, my favorite is Halloween. Yeah. And I think I have a top 5, top 10.
What we're doing.
That is weird. That is funny. Opposing, but we can still be friends, though. A House Divided? A House Divided.
Oh, wait.
Something like that. I think you're over there. My thing's in your Halloween, your peanut butters and my chocolate.
Is that right? Hold on.
So, we're going to talk about The Thing and Halloween. And, man, we could just do a whole month of Carpenter if we wanted to. Maybe another month, you know? But
absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be great. The man is he wears his influences on his sleeve like Tarantino, and he has influenced so many things. This podcast is not just about movies we love or hate. This podcast is infused with the philosophy of two great theocratic philosophers. I believe their names were Siskel and Ebert. Am I right?
You're absolutely right.
I
love
knew
them
it
so much.
For our American audience, tell them who I'm talking about.
You're talking about Siskel and Ebert.
That's right. Siskel and Ebert, the OGs, as you call them. They are the reviewers of reviewers. Even if you didn't agree with them, you still valued their opinions very much.
Absolutely. I love to disagree with them, and I loved it when they liked the things that I like. So
Yes. And no weekend ended without me watching at least a little bit of their show. We're going to see if they love the movies. You know, as we talked about before, Siskel and Ebert with horror movies, little pick and choosy. Like Siskel hated Scream. Ebert thought it was innovative. You know, and so we're just going to see what they thought. I'm hoping that they loved Halloween. I'm thinking they didn't like The Thing at all.
That's a good guess. I like that. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Well,
without further ado, let's go. All right, so we have got a doozy.
That thing.
We got a doo-wop. Oh, yeah.
That thing.
The miseducation of Matches and Shannon.
Try the waitress and tip the bill.
So, what is the name of this movie again?
That thing.
No, I don't think that thing. That's right. Or as I said last week, if we're in the South, it's the thing, man. The thing.
That's what I was trying to do.
And I like your groove.
Yeah, it's definitely John Carpenter's The Thing.
It is John Carpenter's The Thing. Yes. So excited because as we have said before, you love Carpenter. Carpenter's one of my favorite directors. of all time. It took me years to realize that because I would like, oh yeah, that movie was pretty. He did that one. Oh, that movie's great. He did that one.
Oh,
every time I try to make a top 5 list of Carpenter films, I keep forgetting one and having to make it a top 6 and a top 7.
Yeah, there's a lot that he did that I didn't even realize he did.
And the man is quite the genius. And
yeah,
I'm excited about this one. This is, of course, is a sort of loose remake of a movie from the 50s called, what's it called, Matches?
The Thing from Outer Space.
The Thing, yes, Thing from another space and time and planet. That's right. And of course, it is originally based on a 1937, I think, maybe 1938 novella, which is short novels, novella.
The best things are, really.
You know what? I find short stories be better to absorb in like anthologies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I don't have time for 100 pages. Give me 50.
Oh my gosh. 100's fine.
It's based on a novella called Who Goes There? Yeah. And the funny thing is John Carpenter's movie is a lot more faithful to the novella than the thing from Another Planet or Outer Space, whatever it was called.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more faithful, except for the ending. But yeah, and basically this...
Except for the ending.
Well, this movie is it is such a, like, John Carpenter is a master of suspense and sitting tension. We're going to talk about Halloween later, how he like I wouldn't say reinvigorated because the slasher genre was in its infancy, but he like pretty much established everything you see in slasher movies now, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
or enhanced it and made the flavor better. But he's a master at suspense, you know, because this thing is an alien from space that you never really see. It crash lands on Earth like, what's 1,000 years before, I think they say.
Yeah, 100,000 maybe is a lot. Like, it was a long time. It was.
Yeah. Like, pretty much like at the time Optimus Prime and the other Transformers landed, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. So, anyway, it looks like it's replicating sound wave. So yeah, this thing is an alien. Thank you. This thing's an alien creature that, what does it do, Matches, when it finds another life form?
It kills them, one, and it becomes them, two.
Mm-hmm.
In the most horrific way imaginable.
It is not pleasant. It's not like, hello, may I use your body? Thank you.
Yeah. This is a mainstream body horror movie that started a bunch of, people's careers that going into doing body horror, it was great. That
is true. It's heavily like Halloween. It is actually heavily influential with sci-fi. You could call it a sci-fi horror monster movie. Maybe a love story between Kurt Russell and Keith David, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, will they or won't they? The tension.
That's right.
Yeah, no, they do seem to hate each other. No, so yeah, basically, we're in Antarctica, and the opening shot is great of this movie because, like, if you don't know what's happening, all you see is two dudes in a helicopter with a gun chasing after a cute little, is it a husky?
It's a wolf, actually, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a dog.
Well, it's supposed to be, but we'll get into that later.
Okay. Well, yeah, they're chasing after a dog trying to kill it. And you're like, why are they trying to kill the dog? That is so savage. And then the dog gets into this camp full of American research camp. And the Norwegian guys who are chasing him, one of them blows up. The other one's like, have you ever read what he says in his Norwegian? They don't translate it in the movie.
Yes, I have. It's literally everything that they need to know.
He was telling them, they were just like, what's he saying? I can't understand it.
Yeah.
The dog gets into camp, and the dog is the thing, and people start getting infected. And the great thing about this movie, Matches, is, like I said, the tension. It sets up the whole, who do you trust? Which is an ancient human concept. Like, are you better off alone? Are you better off together? Who can you trust? Who is literally who goes there? You don't know.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah, and even do they even know they're a thing if they're a thing?
I know. That's another thing. Like, do you know? It
There's
replicates
so much paranoia built into that tension, and it's so good.
Cuts it with a knife. Yes, they do. You got Kurt Russell as MacReady. Kurt Russell, who before then, was a lot of Disney movies in the 70s, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that computer wore tennis shoes. That's right. Yeah, Kurt Russell was a big star for Disney. And 80s is when he really became action movie Kurt Russell,
Oh, yeah. I think this was his first big role that got him all those 80s roles, right?
Well, I don't know. Was Escape from New York before this one? Another John Carpenter
right after,
film?
right?
Maybe.
I
I don't know. He was
know.
definitely one of Carpenter's muses. He was in a lot of Carpenter films. Yeah.
I was going to say about the dog. He was actually a wolf dog called Jed.
Yes.
Let's see. It was his first movie. He went on to appear in White Fang in 1991.
Nice.
White
Did he
Fang
play
2. The Journey of Natty Gann. My first crush.
On John Cusack.
And he received praise for his 1,000-yard stare as the Thing. So he's an actor. He's an actual dog actor.
He was. I was watching it the other night, and I was like, that dog he looks like he's up to something.
Yeah,
you know?
he's very good. And he's a dog and a wolf. So he's like a mix, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, this movie's got such great moments. Keith David, of course, plays Childs. Like you said, there's a lot of great stars in here. You got Wilford Brimley when he was young. He was in his late 40s, but Wilford Brimley always looked old.
But he still looked old.
He did. He's always old. He's always like, get out of my way. I'm eating oatmeal.
He looked 65, 70, if I'm being polite.
He looked a lot like my pawpaw, just slightly bigger and maybe taller. But yeah, he's an old man. But I like
this movie. I can understand, I guess, why back then they didn't receive such praise or whatever because it was gross. One.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Nobody was used to that. Yeah, and also it's all kind of samey. They're all in the same spot doing the same things, and it's like almost if you're not paying attention, one scene looks like the next one. Basically, I feel like for about an hour in this movie.
So you're saying it's a 2-hour bottle episode?
It is. It is so good for that, though.
It is. There's nothing better than like a contained tension movie.
And there's nothing more remote than Antarctica.
Exactly. I mean, you've got movies like that before, like Lifeboat, where there's a killer on a boat and you don't know who it is, And of course, this movie went on to influence. This movie influenced Among Us, that game that the kids like.
Really?
Yes. It influenced all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So in fact, it influenced Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs and especially Hateful Eight. And he just happened to have Kurt Russell in Hateful Eight. Yeah, if you think about it, they're all kind of trapped in a space and they don't have trust.
And all accusing each other. Yeah. Right. That's great.
Did Bruce Dern do it? We don't know. Yeah. It definitely influenced Hateful Eight. But yeah, there's so many great moments in this movie. And the performances, like you said, I wanted to talk quick about how the movie underperformed. It did okay at the box office. It did not make bank. It did not make big money. It really got its love when it started airing on television and when it was on home video. People started watching it. Really? They're like, you got to see this. The special effects are crazy. It's gross. It's disgusting. And that's another thing that probably turned some critics off. Like you said, they weren't ready for that. Yeah, it was a big mainstream movie.
Critics hated it.
Oh, yeah, critics did hate it. But just a few years after, they started reassessing it and realizing, hey, this movie's really good. This movie I was wrong about this movie. A lot of critics, were like, I was totally wrong. And now it's reappraised as one of the greatest horror movies of all time. And like I said, if not John Carpenter's best movie, I think that and Halloween might kind of vie for it, depending on your taste.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was going to say, one of my favorite moments in the movie is when the head sprouts little spider legs.
Oh my gosh!
He starts walking, and then Kurt Russell doesn't notice it, but the other two behind him are like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And they turn around, and then he turns around, and they just nuke it, and they blast it with fire.
I know,
kill it with fire for real.
I know, yeah. The only way to kill the thing, by the way, in case you haven't seen it, spoilers abound, okay? If you're going to jump in, we're going to spoil you a little. But
we are.
Extreme heat is the only way to kill it. Only way to end it.
It says here the film had a budget of $15 million and grossed $19,857,465. So
gotta count that.
And 20 million worldwide. So you got 5 million up there. If it had any marketing at all, maybe that took some of it.
That's true. You know why some people dismissed it or why some people thought it didn't do as well. It came out in 1982, just a few months or weeks after E.T. And people were this is what people said. They said, we prefer our aliens to be friendly and nice and not try to kill us. Which with the exception of E.T., I disagree. I don't like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I know people think it's a great movie. I don't want aliens coming down going, how you doing? Good to see you. No, I want explosions.
Yeah, that's kind of boring sometimes. But I love Close Encounters. It's so good.
Yeah. But we were talking about how the critics really didn't like it at first. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Siskel and Ebert hated it, maybe. And maybe we need to revisit if they, unhated it later.
I'm not going to say because in my research, I found out some things about it.
Spoilers. You saw behind the curtain?
I got spoiled because there's a reason though, because their review is just kind of famous, I guess.
Okay.
For one thing.
Okay.
And we're going to see why that is.
Well, we're going to watch Siskel and Ebert because that's what we do here on NOMS. So get your popcorn, get your Raisinets, and get your Hot Pockets. That's me. And we're going to watch the review of...
The Thing.
Oh, hey, can I set it up real quick? I have something I've been working on. Ladies and gentlemen, Detective Adrian Monk. Here's the thing.
Siskel, film critic of the Chicago Tribune.
And this is Roger Ebert, film critic of the Chicago Sun-Times. Our next film, The Thing, has already caused a lot of talk before it has opened. About 2 weeks ago, something very unusual happened to me. I began getting postcards at my newspaper office from readers telling me that John Carpenter's new movie, I guess they'd seen it in a preview, was one of the most disgusting films ever made. Well, those postcard writers certainly were right about one thing. The movie The Thing does contain a lot of repellent special effects. Later, there's a terrific blood test where they try and check out who is human, who is not. I wish this movie were less ugly than it is, because in terms of storytelling and suspense, and that subtext of suspicion of one's fellow man, this is actually a very well-made movie. But at regular intervals, no doubt about it, it does gross one out.
Wow. What?
Okay, so I want to talk about why this review is so famous. It's because he's one of the only critics to get it.
Siskel?
No one else gave it the time of day.
Of all people, Siskel.
Yeah, he doesn't recommend it, I don't think, but he completely understood it, and so he's just one of the few
You're right,
to get it.
because all critics saw was like you said, the head with the spider. They saw, like I said, some really spectacular, like groundbreaking special effects, and that's all they saw was the grossness. And you got to put it together. It's pieces of a giant puzzle. Yeah, so that's crazy. Absolutely. Siskel actually sort of kind of liked it and got it, of all people. We're talking Siskel, who was like, Scream is a bunch of stabbing. New Nightmare is a bunch of stabbing. Still Magnolias is a bunch of stabbing. That's just, I don't know if he said that. Yeah, Siskel and Ebert were kind of young here, 82.
We have two famous reviews from sneak previews in this episode.
I'm ready to be intrigued and excited because you know I don't watch the internet. Show me.
That's right. All right, let's see what else. Let's see what Ebert's got to say about this.
Okay, let's watch The Thing.
Are you sure? Are you ready?
I'm gonna think if you said Siskel's the only one who gets it, I'm gonna think Ebert's not on our side on this one.
Okay,
let's go. And action.
This movie were less ugly than it is, because in terms of storytelling and suspense, and that subtext of suspicion of one's fellow man, this is actually a very well-made movie. But at regular intervals, no doubt about it, it does gross one out. So, it's a review for The Thing from me. I'm going to recommend it, but serve notice that a lot of people who see it will be made by it.
I think that's probably an understatement. I would call this the barf bag movie of July. I have some problems with it. One of them is, I think they're not made into three-dimensional people. Their function is to walk down the corridor and be jumped on. The other thing is plausibility. Once they figure out that this thing can turn into one of them, they ought to institute a watertight buddy system, but instead they have all kinds of loopholes. People walk out into the snow, come back with a grin on their face, so that the story is totally implausible, and the movie just basically is an excuse for this very gruesome and repellent creature to gross us out. It is the most nauseating thing I've ever seen on a movie screen.
I think
I'll stand behind it.
I think that the movie for me, though, isn't about those characters as individual people. I think that's why they can be interchangeable. I think that it's about how a society, this little group here, wants to poison. They think something's going wrong. You're not in the group. You're out. Just that line. Move away to one side. It's a very chilling thing. And I think if you read the movie in that way, then the implausibilities at your level mean very little. And so you sit there wishing, and I do wish, that it were a lot cleaner.
Yeah, I'm glad he recommended it. I completely forgot he did that, so that was a surprise to me.
Color me surprised. Yeah, Ebert's usually on our side. Well, it's funny that Ebert should say that, because in his Roger Ebert debut, in his review, he wrote that there was not character development, that they needed more. And here, as Monk would say, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about that. John Carpenter actually filmed scenes. It was in the original script where they were going to have more character interaction and I guess more character development, even though I think they're they're fine developed the way they are. But there was going to be more interaction. You were going to learn more about the characters. And they took a break from filming, and he took a look at the dailies and was like, nah, this isn't working. So when he came back from the break, the crew and the cast thought, that's it. We're just going to do a few reshoots. And he goes, guys, we're going to have to reshoot half the movie. And the cast was livid. Not to say they all united against Carpenter. They were so mad. And they used that frustration and anger in their performances. So that's where the frustration is. Yes, he actually cut a lot of what Ebert would have liked in the movie.
Interesting.
Because sometimes you need a talkie. And sometimes you need a stabby. I'm just saying it's all, it works. It works, like sometimes you can't talk something to death. Sometimes you just got to do it, and vice versa.
I feel like these people did their character development through their acting, through the words that they said, the way they acted towards each other, the reacting. Yes. I feel like the character development was there because, there's no lack of it here, really. Compared to other movies I've seen, hell no.
Exactly. And like you said, the way that they seem like really close at the beginning. Now, Childs, played by Keith David, one of the greatest voices in all of film.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to get along with anyone. He is just crabby and grouchy. He's like, I'll kill you. I'll punch you in the face, And everybody else seems to get along really good. There's a crazy guy who believes in aliens before it all starts. But the funny thing is that Wilford Brimley, we talked about his character, Blair. He is a scientist that figures out what it is. He runs a computer simulation that says if we let it go unchecked, it could absorb the entire population of the world within, 100 days or 40?
Yeah, something like that. It wasn't long, but yeah.
So he goes crazy basically and locks himself out from everybody and starts destroying the equipment, and the radio and means of escape, because he's thinking we need to contain this thing, and he kills the sled dogs, he kills the research dogs and everything, and they finally have to isolate him. And the funny thing is, that's the question: was he the thing then, or was he infected while he was in the little isolation shack?
Yeah.
Because I have a theory.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay, back to the review.
Well, I think, Gene, though, that I've got news for you, and that is that 99% of the people who go to see this movie are there to see the monsters, and very few of them are going to read it as your kind of allegory of McCarthyism.
That we will see. And we split on The Thing. Roger, as you can remember, was appalled by the monsters in the film. He called it a geek show. I didn't enjoy looking at the monsters either. But I did find it to be an interesting element in the movie, the element of suspicion of something rotten in one's fellow man. So a reluctant, but yes vote for mine.
A reluctant thumbs up. So his thumbs up was like this.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say about Wilford Brimley is real quick. My theory is that he was keeping the thing in check with his power of diabetes.
Oh, yeah. And Quaker Oats.
Yes, he ate a lot of Quaker Oats, and the Thing hates Quaker Oats.
Yeah, well, they found that floorboard was missing. That's how he escaped or whatever.
Yeah,
so the Thing could have had access to him from there. It was straight to the ship or whatever they were.
Exactly.
They were working
If it touches you, if the tiniest part of the Thing gets in food, because remember they all decide they're going to eat from cans individually, no more prepared food.
Oh, is that it? Just a little piece of it?
Just the tiniest. Because McCready, played by Kurt Russell in the Thing, surmises that every little piece that breaks off is another piece. It's all sentient and all alive. Which means there could be two things at one time,
Yeah, and there is a theory out there that there are two rival things out there in the movie. You're just not seeing this,
That makes a lot of sense. Because can we talk about the ending real quick? I know there's other things we can talk about, but
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so in the ending, the credits roll.
Amazing. Best
Sorry,
movie
I couldn't
ever.
help it. I couldn't help it. The credits of the no. So the ending, McCready, Childs has disappeared. Okay, Childs has disappeared, and some people do die off screen, like T.K. Carter's character. I can't remember the name of his character, but he died because some people were like, "Where did he go?" But apparently, he died off screen, and they just didn't film it or address it. Or they were going to, and they cut it. Yeah, but he dies off screen. And so every character is killed except for McCready, played by, of course, I'll always say, the legendary Kurt Russell. Can I just say Kurt Russell's facial hair deserves recognition and special awards?
It's real good in this, yeah.
Man, it's great. And in Tombstone, he's got that little handlebar. When he's Snake Plissken in the Escape movies, the beard is like, I'll be in my trailer, Kurt, when you're ready to film. But so McCready kills the last of the things, which is Blair, the Blair thing, kills it. The station is destroyed. It's on fire. There's no means of escape. There might be a rescue coming, and out of nowhere comes Keith David. And he's like, oh, I got lost. I went after Blair and I got lost. So a lot of people, he sits down and he tells Kurt Russell, Kurt Russell's like, I know I'm human. He goes, oh, I'm human too. And he goes, what do we do? And he says, well, why don't we sit here a little bit and just wait? Wait and see what happens.
Yeah,
so they both
hands him a bottle of whiskey or something.
Yes. And here's the thing. A lot of people think it's a bleak ending, and it can be seen as that, because a lot of people think Childs is a thing. And some people think the McCready. Some people have a theory that McCready was a thing like a long time ago, and he was just trying to eliminate all the competition. But Childs could be a thing, or they could not be. But even if they're not the thing, they've got a fire raging to keep them warm for just an hour, maybe. They've got no means of escape. There might be a rescue coming, but they might freeze to death. So it's got, it's kind of ambiguous.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently Carpenter did film an ending where McCready gets in a helicopter rescue away, but he decided to go with the whole what could happen ending. And Carpenter for years. Good. Yes. And Carpenter did lend the permission to use the thing for, I think, the video game, where it shows that McCready and Childs made it and they weren't things. But then years later, Carpenter said one of them is a thing, but he never said which one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because people
I think it's Keith David.
I do think it's Keith David. Well, some people notice that McCready's breath is visible when he's talking, and Childs is not.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is one fun fact I found out, Shannon. Is
Tell me. I bet you got something.
Before each take, legendary actor Kurt Russell would take a drag of a cigarette, and so his breath would be shown.
Really?
That's why. That's the actual reason. I don't know if they wanted to keep that in there as a thing or not, but that's true. Yeah, he would take a drag off a cigarette, and then he'd start rolling, and he'd start talking.
He was the only actor who decided to do that?
I guess so.
That's crazy.
So that's at least why.
No, that's a great thing. I did not know that. You got me.
The first thing that got me in this movie is the title. The title screen, whatever, the logo and everything.
Yes.
Because it burns onto the screen, and it's just really good effects for back then, I think. Even that alone would have been like, oh my God, this is going to be in a movie. We're going to have the best time.
Right?
That was neat. But it seems to burn onto screen, and the way they achieved this was that the logo was placed behind a smoke-filled fish tank covered with a plastic bag. Huh. The bag was ignited, creating the effect of the title burning onto the screen.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, practical titles.
Practical titles is a good thing. Well, here's the funny thing. Also, I think it was Universal, right? So the logo for Universal was the Earth. Well, they didn't show that regular logo because they were the first shot you see in the movie is the planet Earth as the saucer goes to it. They thought people were going to be confused. I don't know why.
Oh, so what did they do?
Well, they did what you said they did. They did the burning. They didn't show the normal Universal. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Father of Invention. Yeah.
Oh, do you know who they wanted to direct the movie at first?
No, who?
Well, let's see. Let me see. Lawrence Terman and David Foster were the producers, and they wanted John Carpenter. The studio wanted Tobe Hooper.
Oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre fame. Yeah, and so, this came out in 1982. What else came out in 1982? Poltergeist.
Poltergeist, that was really?
Yeah, so they were working on those at the same time, kind of.
Oh my gosh, that is...
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. And that's a great summer for movies.
Best movie. Well, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is his best movie, but then Poltergeist is amazing. I watched it recently. It's still good. It's still pretty scary. It's different than when I was younger.
It's got a lot of touches of Spielberg, too, because didn't he produce it?
Oh, yeah. Because everything Tobe Hooper did after that was not that great.
You're not wrong. Like, there's probably one or two that weren't bad, but no, you're right. You're not
Yeah, I don't understand. So it must have been Spielberg's hand heavy in Poltergeist, I think.
But Texas Chainsaw is great. If we could revisit that one day, if they reviewed that, that'd be cool. So you know how John Carpenter usually scores his own films, right? In fact, we kind of laughed about it when we saw Vampires. Who's like, score by John Carpenter, catering by John Carpenter, best boy, John Carpenter. So he usually scores his own movies, but he got the legendary... I don't know if you know this name. I bet you do. Ennio Morricone. Am I saying it right? Ennio Morricone, who is famous for one of the most famous scores that goes. Yeah, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So Ennio Morricone, he scored it. And as I said before, Quentin Tarantino, The Hateful Eight, he used pieces of that score from The Thing from Ennio Morricone because he was such a...
Wow,
Synergy,
that's cool.
Baby. Synergy,
Yeah, the score was really good. I remember thinking, hey, this is nice music.
Yeah. It's pretty. It's nice. But yeah, it's just a great movie. And like I said in the intro, if it wasn't on TBS every weekend, then that would be against the law. It was always on TBS in the 90s.
Yeah. Knowing I'd only seen it on cable and edited, I didn't realize how much of the movie I'd actually seen. On table, I was surprised. Like a lot of it, like I said, looks samey. Like, it's not all the same. But they're just in the same place.
Oh, fun fact: the spider head guy, the guy who has the heart attack in his chest. Yeah. Okay, so that guy was the chief on the show Hunter. That may not mean anything to you, but I loved Hunter growing up. The TV show Hunter.
Yeah, our grandparents watched it. That's how we watched it.
Because I'm watching it later. I'm like, I know all these guys. There's the guy from L.A. Law. There's Richard Mazer.
Yeah, there's a kind of a who's of men of the 80s.
That's right. So, final thoughts on The Thing matches. Go.
Final thoughts on The Thing. It's fantastic. It's such a good time, and you can watch it anytime and still have the best time.
Yes.
Love it.
Kurt Russell is fantastic. I've always had this thing. Kurt Russell's the man. I can watch him in anything.
He's your friend crush.
Well, I mean, might be Ryan Reynolds, but yeah, no, Kurt Russell's definitely big. Loved him in everything. I loved him in Tango and Cash. Yeah, I'll say it again. Okay. It was great.
What are your final thoughts, Shannon?
I would recommend The Thing for anyone who likes a good time with sci-fi horror. Again, don't eat while you're watching it unless you think you can. Some people can handle that. I'm all like, I'm going to eat the sled dog steak later. I give it 2 tendrils up.
Nice. 2 tendrils out of 2 tendrils.
Out of 2.
That's good.
Out of 2, yeah.
I'm going to give it 2 wolf dogs out of 2 wolf dogs. So
I like it. Oh, you'll never think of dogs the same again.
That was the thing. And coming up next, we've got Halloween.
Well, what time is it time for, Matches? Is it time to rock a rhyme?
I mean, it could be, but also, it's time.
What time is it? For real? It's time for
the video movie corner pick of the week.
Oh man, the bravado. It
was all right.
I love it. No, it was intense. You kind of look like a xenomorph there for a second, like it's thinking like.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do this week. I was going to do one movie, but I'm going to let it settle because I just watched it this weekend.
I'm going to let it digest.
Yeah, I need to digest it. It was fine. It was good,
Okay.
But I don't know. We're doing Halloween themed stuff all week, so I'm going to do something that's not exactly Halloween themed.
Oh, you know what?
Because we're not all about Halloween themes. We love Halloween. No. We love spooky season. But it just happens to be when we started.
That is true. Because actually coming up in November, we're going to do some heartwarming stuff, I believe.
Oh, yeah, we have to. We need some cozy fall cheesiness that'll make us cry.
That's right. Sea of Love, little Fatal Attraction. No, go ahead, please. What is your video movie corner pick of the week?
Well, Shannon, my video movie corner pick of the week this week is a little movie called Love and Mercy.
I do not know this title. Enlighten us.
You'll know it when I say it.
Okay. All right. Tell me more.
It's one of my favorite films from 2014. There were some good ones that year, including Mad Max Fury Road, Ex Machina, What We Do in the Shadows. Those are all some of my top films.
That was that year, that's true.
Yep, Love and Mercy follows Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys in different parts of his life. John Cusack plays troubled Brian in the 80s, and Paul Dano plays his younger self before and during the making of the classic album Pet Sounds. It was wildly overlooked at the time, with the title coming from one of Wilson's later song titles. If it wasn't for a friend, I may never have seen it. That year... let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Paul Giamatti and Elizabeth Banks co-star, and the cast does a tremendous job, as does the movie of taking you down the rabbit hole of Brian Wilson's worsening mental illness. It might sound like a drag, but it's a fascinating look at the lives of what many consider to be a cheesy band from the 60s. Love and Mercy takes a deep look at the darker side of the band, including their relationship with their controlling, abusive father. If you haven't seen it, do not miss this picture. It is very, very good. Yeah.
did not know there was a Brian Wilson biopic. That's cool.
Okay, yeah,
So,
you must have missed it because it is literally, I have it on Blu-ray, I have it on digital, like it's
wow,
a fantastic
you got the action
movie.
figures.
Yeah,
Oh,
John
man.
Cusack, Paul Dano, and that. Oh my God, he's so good. It'll make you love the Beach Boys even more.
Well,
I think. Yeah.
I think I'd like it even more if Joan Cusack had played Brian Wilson. But
Me too.
I'll give
Yeah.
it to
You
So-
heard my Joan Cusack.
I did.
I mean,
did.
John.
I always have room for Joan Cusack in my heart.
Oh my
Ever
gosh, she's
since
amazing.
Toys. She is. She was on Saturday Night Live for that ill-fated one season, 85, 86, along
That
with
everyone
Robert
was
Downey
on?
Jr.
Yeah.
Yes, Anthony Michael Hall, Randy Quaid, less said about him the better, and Dennis Miller and John Lovett's first season, and they're the only ones who survived to go on to the,
Isn't that crazy? Because they're so good. All of those people are so good.
Yes, and then the next year it was Dana Carvey, Jan Hooks, Phil Hartman, the people you knew and loved from the 80s. Yeah. So it finally got good, but yeah, not Joan Cusack's fault. So let me ask you, when you were watching this movie, were you lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did? Were you lying in bed?
Probably. I watched it at home. No.
Awesome. That sounds like an awesome pick there, Matches. I am intrigued. I do like Paul Dano. He's grown on me. There was something about his face I didn't like for the longest time. It's like a Miles Teller thing. I don't know what it is. I was just like, I don't like you, Paul Dano. You think you're cooler than everybody.
I did not know that. Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
He's
It took me
just
a while.
consistent.
I liked him in, what's that? The Girl Next Door?
Yeah.
You know, the sexy romp comedy. And,
I forgot he was in that.
Okay. Yeah, he is. He's
Elijah
quiet
Cuthbert as the girl next door, who is, I think, just a bombshell, not the girl next door, but like she was just a bombshell of a person. Like, that's what you say. She was beautiful.
Oh, heck yeah. But, just as beautiful was, the guy who played. You're right. No, she was beautiful. You're right. So, that's an awesome pick. Well, I'm very intrigued by this. And now we're ready for my video movie corner pick of the week.
Shannon.
Remix. Oh, yeah.
What's yours?
Now, I think you've seen this. It's an old, it is an old one by our standards because it's from 2002. Technically 2001 first. It's, here's the thing. I always joke about everything being a French film. This is literally a French film. I would say this is the only French film I would ever recommend. No offense to France. I love you. I love your fries. Amelie, sure. I've never seen Amelie. What? But this one puts Amelie in the dust. This one bites Amelie and sends her off.
Is this the one where their cousins have a threesome?
No, I don't think I know that French film.
The Dreamers, maybe?
It's not. I know what you're talking about, though. It's not that French. No, it is not that French of a movie.
I love that movie. It's so fun. Wow. It's a sexy party.
Is that the one with Diane Keaton? Anyway, no. So this movie is from 2002. It is a mishmash, a hybrid, if you will, of horror movie, kung fu karate movie, action, period drama, period costume drama, and historical movie. It is called The Brotherhood of the Wolf. I don't know if you remember this movie from early 2002.
No,
it's in subtitles, and of course, and it's also dubbed in English.
Okay.
It's called The Brotherhood of the Wolf, and it is loosely based on a true legend story. There was sometime in France, there was a beast that was terrorizing the countryside and killing a few people, and they found out that it was actually like an animal that was new to France, because at the time, there weren't a lot of zoos. So it turned out to be like a lion that someone had brought over that was all, So this movie, The Brotherhood of the Wolf, is about this beast that is terrorizing the countryside. You think it might be a werewolf. They're kind of giving you clues, So they bring in this legendary hunter and his sidekick, played by Mark Dacascos, who was a martial arts guy, a lot of B movies. His biggest role was probably the TV version of The Crow, called Stairway to Heaven. So he plays his silent Native American sidekick who knows karate. And I'm telling you, it is a great mishmash. It's funny. It's irreverent. It's got Monica Bellucci, who was recently seen in Beetlejuice. And the very beautiful Monica
Tim
Bellucci.
Burton's newest flame.
No, him and Helena.
Yeah, they started dating a year ago. Yeah,
Him and Helena Bonham. I can't even say her name. They broke
Helena
up.
Bonham
him and
Carter, yeah,
HBC?
they broke up. Yeah.
So now she will. That's why she wasn't in Beetlejuice.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they're fine. They just went their separate ways. So.
Oh, they had a kid together too. Okay. Well,
yeah.
So Monica Bellucci is in this movie, and she's gorgeous and she's great. And yeah, it's just this movie about they're trying to find this beast. And Vincent Cassel, who's a French actor who's been in a few things like Eastern Promises, some American movies. It's really good. It's very entertaining. It's R-rated. So, hide the kids, hide the wife, or hide the kids.
Oh, no.
It's worth watching. It's fun. Like I said, it is just a mishmash. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's a very good film. I recommend Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Looking up now.
Okay, looking up.
Oh, there it
While
is.
you do that, I'll just go.
A 2001 film. Oh, I remember this poster.
Right? And the trailers, of course, they didn't tell you it was French in the trailers. They would cut the camera before they spoke.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I remember that for sure. Okay, I didn't know it was a French film, and I never saw it. So, gonna have to do that. Okay.
That's right.
It's free on Tubi right now.
You can hear the sound, it's after you. The Frenchman said, "Oh, you're dead," and it's the Brotherhood of the Wolf. So check it out.
That's on Tubi right now. And
Yes, it is. It's
also,
streaming on Tubi.
Love and Mercy is streaming on Tubi.
You know what? I think a double feature is in order.
It is,
And you never
for
saw
sure.
this?
No, I never saw it. I remember that
I
poster.
thought I rented it and brought it over to your house.
If you did, I've completely forgotten it. Don't feel bad. I have a bad memory. So I saw some of these things yesterday, and I can't remember half of it. So
that is so very well. Like I said, it's a karate horror set during a period costume drama, and based on real events that happened. You should look it up. I think it was like the Beast of Marseille or Monsieur or mashed potatoes.
Okay.
You should look that up. Yeah. So Brotherhood of the Wolf. Michael, what are you playing, Michael? Michael, don't play the piano. How did you learn to play the piano in the institution? Michael!
Oh, sorry.
You're
Dr. Loomis.
Yes, it's me, Dr. Loomis. I do kind of look like him now. It's sad, but I do.
Okay. So we're doing John Carpenter's classic Halloween, aren't we?
That's right. As I said before, a lot of people consider Halloween his best movie, and a lot of people consider The Thing his best movie. So they're like neck and neck.
Story of a psychiatrist named Dr. Loomis who grooms a little boy to become an evil mastermind.
No! Did you just say grooms him to become a killer?
This is a theory, actually. This is a real theory.
Okay.
That he spent 15 years telling him he was evil incarnate and he was the devil and all this stuff, and so he became the devil.
But matches, he killed his sister at the beginning. He had that going for him.
Killed their sister in the beginning.
Dude.
Okay, I was
afraid to even pinch my sister, but that's a whole other. That's a whole other ball of wax. Why is she behind me?
She would have killed you. Yeah.
I love my sister. She's the best.
Me too.
Silent predator. But yes, we're going to be reviewing or watching the review of 1978's classic Halloween. As I said before, not the first slasher, but the one that just innovated the final girl things. All these other tropes you see in movies. And again, unlike The Thing, made on a very low budget. It was actually an independent film. It was the highest grossing independent film of that year in 1978. That's right. I was
and every year after, because oh my gosh.
right.
I mean, seriously, it would have had a $300,000 budget, and it made, let's see, $300,000 to $325,000 budget, and worldwide it made $70 million.
Wow, I know.
I know of '70s dollars, which is a lot of dollars. What is that? 500 million today? Maybe $500 million or more. Yeah.
Yeah, and not just made money, but also so influential in every slasher movie that came after, for better or worse. It definitely influenced Nightmare on Elm Street. In ways, which was a great movie. I'm not a Friday the 13th fan. I watched them when I was young, and I was like, these movies are great. And then I get older, and I'm like, these movies are bad. So,
yeah, I mean, I get it. Though. Well, Friday the 13th, the first one I think was one that did the same as this one almost. Like with their little budget, they made millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe
that's
20
true.
millions, not as much, but like still a lot. Yeah.
Kevin Bacon is very thankful for that movie. But yeah, Halloween, man, Halloween is one of the best. It's just one of the best horror classics ever. It's an annual movie for me. I got to watch the original. And let me just say real quick, after Halloween, the sequels, so confusing. This is like a choose your own adventure of continuity.
Yeah.
I just want to say
some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are good bad, some of them are bad, but they're all fun to watch. You know?
It is a mix, but here's the weird thing. So you've got the second movie, which continues the story of that one. So John Carpenter, he wrote the second one, he didn't direct it. After that movie, he wanted each movie to be an anthology movie. So that's why Halloween 3 has nothing to do with Michael Myers. It's about, I didn't like Halloween 3.
Yeah, the Season of the Witch or something.
Season of the Witch. Years later, people have appraised it as being better, or than it was. But yeah, there was no Michael Myers. So for years, there was no more Halloween films. And then 10 years after the first one in 1988, there was the return of Michael Myers. And let me tell you something. As a kid who had just started watching Saturday Night Live, and not knowing who the killer was in Halloween, just knowing there was a Halloween movie, I was confused as to why the guy from Wayne's World on Saturday Night Live would go around killing people.
Michael Myers, that's
I'm
right.
not kidding. I was so confused. I was like, Michael Myers.
Four is the one that people champion that is not as bad as everyone thinks it is, I think.
That is true. That is true.
It's one of the biggest ones to do that, yeah.
Here's the weird thing. So they go with 4, they go with 5, they go with 6, with the movie debut of Paul Rudd, by the way. First movie he ever filmed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Clueless came out first.
It was not
Halloween
good.
6.
I didn't like that one.
No, it was horrible. So then they decide to make a sequel, bring Jamie Lee Curtis back, called H20, or I call it H2O.
Yeah,
20 years later.
H2O. Josh Hartnett's first role, I think. Big role.
One of his early ones, yeah. They ignore 3 through 6 and try to end the movie. Then they make an 8th one, which messed up everything. So then in 2018, Danny McBride and his writing partner decide they are going to resurrect it, but they ignore every sequel. They just go from the first one, and I like those. How did you feel about those?
I like them. Yeah, they have their place, definitely.
They're good.
They have their problems, definitely.
They do have their problems.
I think 2018 was perfect because it's not a reboot; it's like a continuation, as a present day continuation. Yeah, which is amazing. I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the second one was kind of like an Empire Strikes Back. It was it was just kind of your middle movie there, and it was okay. It was good. Okay. And then the third one set up a bunch that it didn't really pay off at the end.
See,
but
I'm one of the few people who likes Halloween Ends, and I know it seems like
fine.
I know it seems like Laurie Strode and Michael Myers are side characters, but
yeah.
I kind of liked it. But
yeah, there's some good stuff.
Oh yeah, but back to Halloween. The story basically: Michael Myers as a child kills his sister, goes to Smith Grove Sanatorium, and I don't know, Rick Santorum, and where Dr. Loomis is trying to reach him. I don't like your theory that he was grooming him to be a killer. You stopped it. Bad matches, bad. Which is funny because in 2018 they go with that angle with his current psychiatrist guy. Doctor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they kind of do. Yeah.
It's
fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
So,
he could have put all that into his head. I don't know.
So 10 years later, it's Halloween, and he escapes. Now, here's the question I have. He was a kid when he killed his sister and got committed, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So he steals a car and drives off. How in the world did he learn to drive a car while he was in the institution?
Oh, I heard something today that they said he learned it from watching other people. So,
like through the window?
I guess.
Man,
I don't know.
He must have been really good, like a savant.
Yeah, he really liked old movies about cars.
Like he's watching The French Connection backwards, forward. That's what I'm going to do.
I can do that.
Oh, yeah. And Michael Myers, one of the great silent killers, doesn't say a word, played in the original movie by actor Nick Castle, who, tell the people real quick what Nick Castle went on to do.
Oh, gosh. He went on to do a lot. What was it? He went on to do
The Last Starfighter.
help with. Yeah, The Last Starfighter. He went on to help with, what is it, the Escape from New York.
Yes, he co-wrote it, didn't he?
Worked on that. Yeah, he also worked on music with John Carpenter.
Yes.
For a lot of these movies and stuff. And something else, what was it, later on?
He directed Major Payne.
Yeah.
So Nick Castle is a Renaissance man. Yeah.
He did a lot of stuff. And there was 3 people that actually wore the suit in the thing. There's somebody that they unmask at the end.
Yes, actor Tony Moran, whose sister...
that's his name.
Yeah, whose sister was Joni from Joni Loves Chachi and some show called Happy Days. Erin Moran.
Yeah, Joni.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tony Moran's kind of a jerk about the whole thing, though. So we're just going to not mention him. He's just the face for a few minutes. But yeah, so you got Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. It's cool you said the music because John Carpenter wrote what is the most one of the most enduring themes. Forget just horror movies. When you hear that,
it's so easy. It could be like a news break coming on or something.
Exactly. You're like, tonight, something in your kitchen could kill you. It's Michael Myers.
Yeah. Slow it down. You could put it behind a documentary. You know, like it's just this.
You really could. Like
thing. Like
when you're in a Halloween carnival or celebration and you hear it over the speakers.
Yeah.
Like this weekend we were at Magic Springs for Magic Screams and we saw a guy dressed as Michael Myers and they started playing the theme and I was like, we gotta go. We gotta run.
Oh, wow.
It was amazing. And the guy's like just standing there.
Nice.
At least I think.
See, I always wanted to do something like that, but I'm afraid like some kids would like actually come up and kill you or stab you or
I know,
try
right?
to get away from.
Not this time. Evil dies tonight. Evil dies.
It's like wait, I'm just a dude.
So Michael Myers goes back to Haddonfield, Illinois, where it all started, and he starts stalking teenagers. And the main final girl, Laurie Strode, played by the film debut of Jamie Lee Curtis.
True that, yeah.
Who Carpenter did not want to cast at first because she was kind of an unknown. And the funny thing is, when he found out her mom was Vivian Lee, the victim from Psycho, one of the most famous victims of all time, he's like, okay,
wait,
there's some...
Janet Leigh?
Oh, did I say Vivian Lee? Vivian Lee was Gone with the Wind. Janet Leigh.
Oh, yeah, Janet Leigh. Okay, yeah. Her grandmother. No, I'm kidding.
That could be. I don't know. Aunt.
I mean, really could be. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, you know, Sam Loomis, his character in this was named after the Sam Loomis character in Psycho.
No, I did not.
It was her boyfriend that came a little too late to stop the murder or whatever. But yeah, and they said one of the theory was John Carpenter did not bonk was that he was the same character from that movie, and he grows up to be Dr. Loomis.
Funny. That is funny.
Yeah.
Well, okay, it's Halloween. It's time to get scary. It's time to find out what Siskel and Ebert, the Scarecrow and the Pumpkin, thought about the movie Halloween. Are you? What do you think? Because this is early horror films. I don't know. It seems they softened on horror films later as they went on. What do you think?
I'm not going to say because I know from my research.
Oh!
Sorry, this week got real spoils for me. I'm so sorry.
Spoils-a-kin. But what do you think? If you hadn't, I don't know.
I would have thought that this one they like. It's not. I don't know exactly what's in the review. I just know a general basis. So I will say it's not misogynistic.
No,
it's not too bloody.
No,
gross.
And we will talk about that later.
It's got a story.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say that they liked it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're feminists, both of them, through and through. They're race warriors. They want to go against racism. They want to go against unfair treatment of women since the beginning. Yeah, that's amazing.
What you should do.
Yeah.
Well, grab your carving knife, get your pumpkin, and put on your William Shatner mask. It's time to see the Siskel and Ebert review of
Halloween.
I was gonna say April Fool's Day, but okay, yeah, Halloween.
Yeah, man.
Happy Arbor Day.
There is a difference between good and scary movies and movies that systematically demean half the human race. There is a difference between movies which are violent but entertaining and movies that are gruesome and despicable. There is a difference between a horror movie and a freak show. And a good example of that is the fact that both of us gave favorable reviews to a very scary 1978 horror film named Halloween. Now there must be people asking, how could we praise a movie like that and now say these other movies are so terrible? Well, here's a scene from Halloween. It's got the same basic situation as all the women in danger movies have. There's a woman alone in a big house. She's being chased by a killer. But let's look at it first and then talk about some of the differences.
Killed him.
You can't kill the boogeyman.
I knew it was coming, and that scared me just now.
You know what? Because of the music, because of the tension, because of Jamie Lee Curtis's big hair hiding him.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
And then, you're right. Let's see, what's happening here is...
Okay, that's Halloween, a horror movie we both think is pretty good.
Very good.
One of the things a short scene can't show you is that Halloween is directed and acted with a great deal more artistry and craftsmanship than the sleaze bucket movies we've been talking about. But there's another much more important difference. As you watch Halloween, your basic sympathies are always enlisted on the side of the woman, not with the killer. The movie develops its women characters as independent, intelligent, spunky, and interesting people. Halloween does not hate women.
Yeah, you know, when I saw that scene, I must admit I wasn't really worrying about the woman as much as I was placing myself in that closet and thinking about that killer, how I would handle it. And I was also appreciating the fact that I think Halloween not only doesn't hate women, but it loves film and filmmaking. That music is just fabulous. The way
That's amazing.
That's all that I love that they're celebrating that because they are right. I mean, they are sort of helpless victims in a way because they're dealing with a force they've never encountered before. That would be the very silent Michael Myers, a force like a freight train, just a lion whose whole purpose is just to murder and kill.
Yeah.
And
I know they were trying to find a distributor at one time, and somebody working on the movie, MGM of all places, owed them a favor.
Really?
And they asked for like 300 copies, 400 copies, or something like that, and they got it.
Nice.
Like they just gave it to them, and so they put it in that many theaters. It bombed, but they still had hope. And then Siskel and Ebert saw it and put this out.
No. And
otherwise, we may not have known about it for years.
So it might have been just like a cable oddity or in the back of the video store.
It would have been like The Thing. It got big later, because it was that good. But yeah, this review back then is the reason why everyone started watching it and it got popular and is known today. So
thank you, Siskel and Ebert.
For real.
That's amazing. Well, let's finish it up because I've got a lot to say about how Carpenter made it so good.
that music is just fabulous. The way he starts one theme, then lays another thing on top of it, keeping the other theme. Really good. Also, the light coming through the slats in that closet. This is a film that's sort of up. That scene is up, and you're jumpy, rather than getting depressed and feeling sorry that you're even watching it. An upbeat thing.
I think what you're touching on here is that artistry can redeem any subject matter.
Sure.
That's why I've always been opposed to censorship. I don't believe any subject matter should be off base.
That's true. Yeah.
He did write Valley of the Dolls. I'll say it again.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah. Or Return to the
I still have
Valley.
never seen that. Yeah, the second one, I guess.
It is worth seeing. It's an interesting, very interesting. Yeah, it's my happening, and it freaks me out, baby.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
But yeah, they're into it, and I like the way that they're covering that. It's not a sexist, like helpless romp. And I mean, yeah, he does go after the teenagers, and this movie was one of the original originators, I guess you could say, of the whole. Yeah, they didn't mean to, but the whole teenagers doing bad things and they get punished for it trope kind of, I don't think Carpenter meant to make any kind of morality tale out of it, but...
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't the only one doing these kind of things. He's just the only one to get it right, I guess, for them. And,
oh my gosh, yes.
It was such mass appeal.
Yes. Well, let's see what they finish saying, and let's see if we agree with
The question is, what does the artist do with it? How does he look at it? How does he put it through his art in order to make a statement about it? Or to make it into either a commercial film or a serious film? I believe that in the case of a movie like Halloween, we can engage in that joy of filmmaking that you talk about. That's not the case with the other films that really address themselves to the lowest possible common denominator.
So was this review in 78 or was it later?
I don't know, because this doesn't seem like their normal show, does it?
I know. It seems like a very special episode of Siskel and Ebert.
No, there was one they did in the late 80s, but they weren't on this set back then.
Yeah, for better or worse, this movie did open up the floodgates to just tons of slashers that copied it and just were pale imitations, and some were good and most were,
Yeah, what he was saying about like the artistry making some certain topics okay, I think he said the same thing for Reanimator, I think.
Yes. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, the choices that they made with that, yeah.
And that was 10 years later, so.
Yeah. Halloween is like one of the quintessential scary movies, and here's where John Carpenter is a genius. All the movies that came after that had gratuitous nudity and lots of blood and gore, and much like Texas Chainsaw and a little bit like Jaws, but Jaws had to do this because of mechanical failure. You heard me, because of mechanical failure. It's less is more. What you don't see is the scariest part. There's very little blood in this movie, and there is stabby, but it's not like it's more creepy and intense the way it's done, and it's not like
Yeah,
gratuitous.
absolutely.
Yeah, and a lot of people can't remember the Texas Chainsaw Massacre wasn't that gory, and it wasn't. And that's what made it so good, because it's creepy. It's like, and the whole idea of setting the tension of like, where is Michael Myers? And then, like Siskel said, the music hits, and the music is a character, and the music's like, here he comes.
Yeah. He's such a good character too. He looks great.
A little Halloween-y there. And why does he look great, Matthew? What kind of mask is he wearing? The scariest part of the whole movie.
He's wearing a stretched Captain James T. Kirk mask.
Yes.
And did you know he actually tried to sue for this?
That doesn't shock me.
But he didn't own the likeness of Captain James T. Kirk. He owns, so it didn't work out for him.
Sorry, nothing you can do about it. I don't like that. He's so scary.
That's right.
But yeah, it took me years later to realize that someone told me that was a William Shatner Captain James T. Kirk mask, and I'm like, what? And now I can't unsee it. Like, do you think they tried other masks? Do you think he was Spock at one time, and then maybe he was like, he was Scotty, like, I'm gonna kill you. I can't do it. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, but like you said, they were working on a low budget. Do you want to know how much the highest actor was paid, or the highest paid that one of the actors got?
Yeah.
Okay. Sam Loomis, the actor Donald Pleasance, was paid $25,000. That was the highest gross. Jamie Lee Curtis got about $8,000, I think.
Okay, 5 to 8, I think I heard.
And Nick Castle, who played Michael Myers in Halloween, was paid $25 a day.
Oh.
Yes. And actor Tony Moran, who, as we said earlier, when she unmasked him towards the end, he was paid $250 for that, just a few seconds. And they did not. But Carpenter was smart. Carpenter said he took a very, very big pay cut, but then he said, I'll take 10% of the gross. Or all that. So that was pretty smart. And hopefully Jamie Lee Curtis and the others got their due. I mean, I know this started her career, and she went on to do a lot more horror films. Remember, like Prom Night? And there was something about a train. And Freaky Friday. That was so scary. I can't watch it to this day.
No, don't worry. Freakier Friday is coming out soon.
I know. We're sequelizing
Oh my God,
everything.
it's so scary.
Cannot wait.
Anyway.
And again, with the Halloween sequels, the great thing is you can pick your own canon. You can pick your own continuity, whatever you like.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because you kept wondering, like, why is he after these people? The second movie gives an answer that Michael Myers, and Laurie Strode are brother and sister. That was his baby sister. Somehow he knows that. And she finds out towards the end of the second movie. And that became the plot thread for the rest and the Rob Zombie remakes, which I like. How do you feel about the Rob Zombie remakes? Yeah.
I like them a lot. Yeah, the first one's great. The second one, I don't think it was as great, but it was neat.
No, yeah, and it was brutal. It was brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal. Had some, didn't have the fantasy elements in that one or something. It was kind of neat.
Well, sort of. Okay. I gotta explain because I gotta tell you something very funny about this. So in the second Rob Zombie remake, the sequel, Michael Myers is seeing an image of his mom, played by Rob Zombie's wife, shocker, Sherry Moon Zombie, and she's with a white horse and she's wearing white. At the very beginning of the movie, they explain what that means. It's like a psychological, concept, though I don't know exactly what it means, but remember it has something to do with your mental breakdown and everything. That's right, yeah. So when the movie's over at the theater I worked at, this girl comes out and she's like, man, that movie had a dang old unicorn in it. Why was a unicorn in that movie? I want to see Michael Myers. I'm not kidding. It's as awesome as that Freddy quote. Dang old unicorn.
Yeah,
so a lot of people didn't get it, and I understand. But a lot of people got the original Halloween. So my mom, they did. Yes, my mom apparently had seen it when I was a baby, and she's the one who introduced it to me on home video.
Really?
Yeah. Me and my mom, we were horror movie partners. Wow. Oh, we watched all of them together.
I wish my parents had been.
No, it's okay because now my mom's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, baby. I don't know. And I'm like,
so funny.
I turned out fine, Mom.
I was scared of everything in the dark, so it would work out for me, I guess.
No, I get it. My mom chose the right time. Just like with my kids. I'm choosing the right time. Yeah. Like Groot, he watched the original Scream 1, 2, and 3, the TV broadcast versions.
Oh.
Yes. Okay. So when we went to go see Scream 5 at the theater, he's like, wow, that's a lot of F-bombs. was like, yeah, that's
yeah. You gotta throw them in there though. It's
for flavor. Well, this movie doesn't have a whole lot of cussing. At least not ever.
No, it doesn't.
No.
I don't know if it has almost any, but
no, and no nudity, right? No nudity.
No.
But well, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about what I think is one of the best scenes in the movie when after Michael Myers kills, I can't remember the character's name, but it's PJ Souls is the actress who was in Carrie, and I swear every role she was always wearing a hat and blowing bubble gum. PJ Souls.
Wait, no, I don't think it was. I don't know.
Yeah, well, she's one of Laurie Strode's friends, so she and her boyfriend Bob are loving and hugging. So
on the couch or whatever.
Yeah. Bob goes off. He's wearing a ghost sheet as a ghost. Michael Myers kills him. Michael Myers comes back in with the sheet over him and the glasses. She thinks it's Bob.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that scene stands out to me, but it's so good because as he's going after Laurie and she's trying to keep the kid she's babysitting safe, Tommy Doyle, and then the other girl that comes over, her babysitter's been killed, so she's in charge of both of them. Because people are wondering why didn't she run out of the house? But it's because the kids were locked in there, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Michael Myers,
and he was, in the way of running out of the house too.
That's true.
Had to go around him and down the stairs, or she could have just jumped over and broke her feet or something. But
right, she probably read the script.
Save yourselves.
I tried, kids.
I'm out.
Yes.
There's no way. There's no way.
No, but what's great about Laurie Strode's character is that, she's a scream queen. She screams a lot, but she is also, when it comes down to it at the very end, she stabs him in the eye with a coat hanger. She's not playing. So if she has to fight,
of all things,
she'll fight. Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, as she does that, and Michael Myers, she unmasks him. He puts it back on, and Donald Pleasance comes in, and he's like, Micah! Shoots him. He falls off the balcony, and you're like, oh, it's over. He's dead. And the camera pans out, and he's gone. And then
that's true.
And then there's shots of the houses in Haddonfield with Michael's breathing. And that was John Carpenter's way of saying you can't kill evil. Evil's everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because I want to talk about that. You know how how Loomis is so obsessed with him? He says he tried to give him a chance, and then by the middle of the movie matches, he's like, I'm gonna kill him. He's done with rehabilitation.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, he had been for a long time. I think he says he spent 7 years trying to work with him and 8 years, knowing he was the devil incarnate.
Yes.
There's nothing you could do. So
I cannot remember the quote, but it's something about the blank stare of a killer. There was nothing there. And John Carpenter got that idea because as a student in college, they took a trip to a sanitarium, and he saw a young mental patient who just had that blank,
Huh.
Okay. Yeah, he drew a lot of inspiration for this movie from his life. Yeah,
that's cool.
And it's one of the movies he wrote along with his partner Deborah Hill, and he had a lot of big influence on. I just think it's great. Like I said, it's what you don't see. It's not like you can show it to your kids, but when your kids Groot was a little bit older, and I showed it to him, and he agrees one of the greatest movies ever.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Yeah,
it's one of his favorites. You said there was some kind of connection between these two Carpenter films.
There are, between The Thing and Halloween, and it's actually in Halloween, which is 4 years before he did The Thing. One of the characters, one of Laurie's friends, is watching on TV The Thing from Outer Space, and that was one of Carpenter's favorite films, and why he wanted to make The Thing 4 years later.
That is correct. Now, do you think there's a horror movie where they're watching the original Halloween?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, hey, real quick about The Thing. You know how he made Alien scary in the same year E.T. was out? I feel like he made up for it and apologized. It was Starman a few years later. He was a nice alien.
Oh, he did Starman. That's right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. See, Carpenter, so underrated. He doesn't just do horror or action. I mean, he does that so well, but he also did Starman, which was like a sci-fi romance drama.
Yeah. He's George Miller.
Right. Well, the funny thing is, his big influence was Howard Hawks, who directed The Thing from Outer Space. And he also did a lot of Westerns. Yeah. And he says that his late 70s movie Assault on Precinct 13 is kind of like a Western.
Yeah, he wanted to do a Western, but they didn't have enough money, so it turned into a contained kind of what it is. And Laurie, she wanted to be in it because of Assault on Precinct 13.
She did.
And and she didn't want to play the character of Laurie because she felt she was more like the giggly girls. You know, she didn't want to be the reserved.
She was PJ Souls.
She was more a silly person.
Yes,
in real life.
Was she more Andy
she played
Brackett?
It so good. So.
Daughter of...
I think so. Yeah.
She did. The performances are great. Like I said, okay, so the new movies, the continuity ignores the fact that they're brother and sister. It doesn't say they are.
Yeah.
Do you like that? Or do you like the idea that they're brother and sister? Because do you feel he has to have a reason to go after her? Like...
It's been a long time since I've seen the second one. How do they do it? Do they just say it? Or is it like one of those things she didn't know and then she
starts
finds
having
out?
flashbacks and dreams.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know how they find out, but I think Loomis finds out at the last minute.
Okay, I'm glad they did it that way instead of just retconning one.
Yeah, no, they don't change anything. Yeah, so
okay, good. Yeah, I never saw 3. I've seen 4. I don't know if I've seen 5. I've seen 6. What's the one? Is there one with Coolio? Am I making this up?
With who?
Coolio?
Yeah, no. You're thinking Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes.
Halloween,
yeah, sorry.
Which is terrible because H2O should have ended it, and because she cut his head off. Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah, but I remember that one. He had really cool hair. Like he had
Busta Rhymes or Mike Myers.
Michael Myers. Yeah.
Okay.
For some reason, the hair was looking just rad. I don't know why, but it made him look so cool.
And you do know it's Michael Myers because when he busts in the closet, he goes, "I'm gonna kill you." No. No.
Oh, that's a silly joke.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you something about that real quick before we end. John Carpenter on the set had a scare meter since they were filming out of order to tell the actors how scared they needed to be. There was like, today's a 5, okay, today's a 9.5, right?
That's really cool. Oh.
Yeah. So Nick Castle's like, okay, John, what's my inspiration? What am I supposed to do? He literally told him, he goes, your inspiration is to go from this mark to this mark and don't act. And it worked. No, he didn't mean that rude. He said, don't act. And you can tell that's what informs the performance because he is just a motionless, just killing machine.
Yeah.
He's like the shark in Jaws, But the only thing he told him to do was when he kills Bob to tilt his head to the side, like he's looking at a painting or something.
Yeah.
A butterfly collection.
Okay.
And if you'll notice, most horror movie killers, they do that, right? Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ghostface.
Yeah, it kind of looks over their masterpiece of the minute.
What did I do?
Yeah,
this is nice.
But anyway, that was great.
So 1978's Halloween. What do you give it, Matches?
I give it 4 pumpkins out of 4.
Nice. Carpenter has just made so many movies I love. I can't even make a top 10. So I am going to give it from a completely different movie. 5 out of Roddy Piper versus Keith David fights.
Nice.
Put on the glasses, Matches. Put on
That's great.
Glasses.
They live.
So that was Halloween.
That was Halloween. Stay tuned next week, and we're going to be doing Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
What, we are? The scariest movie of all time? Hey, Large Marge. Large Marge, to this day, I can't watch it. I'm sorry.
I think the second week in November, we need to do our Steel Magnolias and Fried Green Tomatoes.
Oh, we're definitely doing 2 scary movies in a row like that. Yeah. I can't wait. So this is our final Halloween extravaganza.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it.
We'll still do
excited to see what's next, but yeah.
Yeah, we're not just going to do horror movies. I don't want people to think our podcast is just about horror,
Yeah, I kind of want them to, though. Pull the rug right out from under them.
No, I get it. Yeah, I mean, we should definitely do Little Rascals because that's a scary movie.
Little Rascals and Pulp Fiction were my favorite movies in 1997.
Nice. Very similar.
Looks like we're doing Little Rascals and Pulp Fiction.
I think we should, a double feature.
All right, we're going to do it.
Matches. Listen, every episode I try to make no, listen to me. Listen to me. Not listen to why? Did you hear something outside? Nah, who goes there? So,
okay.
As you know, every week I try to give us a theme song. I've been writing, I've been in the lab with the pen and a pad. I have been trying to come up with something phenomenal. I thought I had it last week. But you know what? This week, I got it. I outsourced it. I have a special guest. We are going to have a very special guest doing tonight's song. Are you ready?
I'm ready. That sounds neat.
Are you ready? Let's get ready for this jelly. Ladies and gentlemen, the lead singer of The Cure, Mr. Robert Smith. Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, he's really here.
Hello. Hello. It's me. It's Robert Smith. Hello.
Is it Robert Smith or
glad to
Thurman
sing this
Merman?
song. That's so insulting. That's very insulting. I can't help it. This is more of a weave, more of a hair don't.
Okay.
It's more of a hair
Okay.
don't. I'm Robert Smith, and I'm here to sing a song if that's okay with you. I hear you're a big fan.
I'm a big fan, Robert.
I'm
Mr.
glad.
Smith or Robert? What do I call you?
You can call me lead singer of The Cure.
If you're nasty? Okay.
Yes, that's right. I like Mr. Jackson, yeah. So here we go. Here's my song. No big whoop, whatever. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, get ready. Get a net to catch your mind because it's going to be blown. Show me how you rate that film. The one that makes me scream, he said. The one that makes me laugh, he said. And give thumbs down to Drop Dead Fred. Show me Siskel and Ebert. And I promise I'll watch Ghostbusters 2. Toy Story, Fargo, and Clue. You two with the podcast. You two makes us all laugh. You two, NOMS is heaven. Okay, I gotta go. Apparently, I gotta fix my hair. Whoa! What happened?
Wow,
Was that who I thought it was?
Robert Smith just came in. That was really
I thought
good.
that was the lead singer of Simply Red. It was really good from Robert Smith of The Cure. Okay. Well, that's a $500 that I will never see back. Right. He's in my fridge eating my Hot Pockets right now. Robert, you know you can't have the meatballs. I knocked them alone.
You could have just spent $50 on a cameo. I'm just saying.
You know what? I can't please you. I'm going to try it again next week. I'll try it again.
Yeah, we'll try next week. You got it. You got it, buddy.
Okay. All right.
Shannon, what's happening? Where are you? Shannon, there's just a jack-o'-lantern looking lunch pail in front of me.
Hey, sorry. That's where I put it. Sorry, buddy. I was outside. Did you say there was a jack-o'-lantern with like a plastic knife in it? That's almost like an omen. No, I'm so sorry. I was outside because I found this stray dog. I found this adorable little stray dog outside.
What?
And he needs a home.
Oh, no.
This little stray dog,
no.
he was all by himself. He was licking me, and he was so happy to see me. And then
that's not
kind of creepy.
a dog.
Oh, no, it's
That's
fine.
some kind of thing.
No, it's
yeah,
not. It's
Shannon.
an innocent little dog.
Oh, it's becoming you. Oh, this is not good.
Jed. Well, I got a lot to process with that, I guess. I don't know who left this here. But
Yeah.
This is nice. This is nice. Yeah.
That's nice. That's a good consolation gift.
That's right. Well,
Absorbed or
a
whatever.
good consolation. Yeah. Well, as the night winds down and the witches go back to their witchitariums and all the ghouls and goblins go back to Waffle House or their night shifts, we're going to have a goodbye to people. Did you have a good time, Mashes?
I had a great time. It was the best time I've ever had on this podcast.
Nice.
I'm not being sarcastic. I know it sounds that way. But
Oh, no. I love it. Isn't it great how sometimes you can never have a tone? Like,
yeah.
I'm always goofy, and I'm like, I am sincere. Okay, I mean it. I am sincere.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm just going to say it right now. I think this was definitely in our top 5. This is probably in our top 5 of shows that we have done. It's definitely there. It's right in the top 5.
If not number 5, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's very close.
Which is really good. That's really good.
But number 6
what
is coming. Yeah, it's really good.
What
Number
do you
6
say,
is coming.
Shannon? Here in a minute, I want us to go out playing the theme song to
Oh,
Halloween. You
okay.
ready?
I like it. Oh, wait.
Okay.
Does everyone know how they can contact us?
Oh, yeah, you need to contact us.
You do, because we're lonely.
They can contact us at nomspodcast@gmail.com. Also, you can contact us. If you're watching on YouTube, you can just comment. You could also send us a letter.
Nice. You could. Yeah, you could send us a letter. Gene Triplehorn, if you're out there, let us know what's going on. And John Carpenter, if you're listening, please. So that's awesome. So are we ready to get on out of here? Hey, I just want to say I've had a great time, and thank you for listening, whoever you are, or watching.
Thank me for having to listen.
and
also watching.
And thank you for being a friend, Matches.
Oh, thank you for being a friend, Shanners.
Oh, you traveled the road and back again. All right, let's do this.
All right. Ready?
Ready. Michael, you didn't finish your cafeteria food. It was fish sticks night.
no.